You from the other side, I'm on this side, we can stay dance together. Let's come together, letting the peace. Liberia is all we have. Oh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Popole, la gloire mon Dieu Aïe papo popole, la gloire mon Dieu The time we take to cause trouble, we should take that time to do something constructive in unity. Mama Liberia need us. Mama Liberia need us. Let's start the two measures. It can benefit us when we pray for each other. We will succeed when we come together as one. We will succeed when you get on your knees to pray. Put Liberia there. When you get on your knees to pray, put Liberia first. Akaten in a quan. Abba Mount Yanombo by Liberia Jekwa. Let's stop undermining one another. Put our interests last. Put Liberia first. Let's come together. Letting the peace. Liberia is all we have. We don't want to palava. We don't want to halala. We don't want to palava. We don't want to confusion. Let's come together. Letting the peace. Liberia is all we have. Teeth and tongue can fight, but they can still eat fish and cookies together. You from the other side, I'm on this side, we can still dance together. Let's come together, letting the peace. Liberia is all we have. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Good morning and hello everybody. Today is a brand new day in Liberia, the world at large, and of course for 2A radio broadcast, we consider this another brand new day, and we are thankful to God for giving us this important time. Each of us have realized that we woke up this morning. As long as you can hear someone speaking to you. So we say welcome to 2A Radio Broadcast. This is James Jensen. I'm sitting in Pennsylvania. And of course, there are other important people who are attached to 2A Radio, and they are helping us to, get doing what we have to do. Today, we want to discuss the importance of time. Time waits for no man. So what is time? The Bible in Ecclesiastes chapter 1, we are told that time, God set time for everything. There is time set for everything under the sun. It's not just about the Bible. Those of you who are Muslim and are listening to us, it's not about a biblical principle. It's the reality that each of us were born on a set time, and in God's consideration, we have a set time to die. So the time available to us is important to look at time. But until we continue that, we have Abraham joining us. Let's hear from Abraham about his summary of what is happening in Liberia. Abraham, welcome this morning. What's the latest from Liberia?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jensen. It's a pleasure again to be on the platform. And let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of our followers, those who are watching us live this morning. And I'd love to say thank you so much for your time. And I mean, too many things happening in Liberia. Quickly to begin with the Liberia Electricity Corporation and other, I mean, partners, energy partners, who held a meeting with the president, His Excellency President George Manawia, concerning the issue of the instability, or maybe the probably the I mean the way the current issue is like is not stable off and on, and then in that meeting the president came up with a hearing that says there going to be another $60 million invested into ADC when Minister Samuel Toure, who is the finance minister of this country, also informed, I mean, schools of journalists that ADC owes the government 40 million. So how will you invest 60 million into institution that still owes the government 40 million and yet to reform? It have been Accra all around the place. People are saying the government, I mean, President Wias should not invest that kind of money into LEC. The LEC is saying is indebted to government. They are yet to refund the government money and so forth. So, with that, people are still talking on it. With the issue of the much talk about Asila Meta deal or agreement, the Senate Pro Tem Pro Albert Che informed journalists that he's not aware about the House of Representatives alleged rejection about the agreement. According to him, is yet to acknowledge. And on Tuesday, according to me, a report from the House of Senate, the pro tempore said that the Meta deal hasn't been rejected by the legislature as far as the Senate is concerned. So if it has been rejected by the House of Representatives, it's not to acknowledge that the agreement or the deal that the government went into with Asila Meta has been rejected. And again, with the issue of the Liberty Party or involving the ALP and the Liberty Party or the CPP saga, Liberty Party chairman or embattled chairman Musa Hassan Bede announces his unfinishing support with the ANC political leader, which happened to be Edizana Benedict Cummings. Uh, he calls on Unity Party and ALP to withdraw from an ongoing case from the Monrovia City Court. So far, so good with the issue of the death that involved the 18-year-old girl. The Liberian National Police also released a press statement or issue a press statement that her boyfriend or the guy that killed her was arrested
Okay, I think Ibrahim is having some problem with his internet. Well, as I said, we are getting update from Ibrahim on what is going on in Liberia, and he just told us about the LEC, the ongoing case, or the ever-ending ongoing case at the Ministerial Court, and we have spoken enough on that trial, so we're not going to waste our time on it this morning. We have a specific topic to discuss. On the subsequently, we might decide to have another word on that. But the, Ibrahim, how are you? Is it okay for you?
Yeah, so yeah. Our network is fluctuating, is going back and forth. So like I
Okay.
was saying, the Liberian National Police spokesperson Moses Carter issued a press statement that says that the boyfriend was the one who was in connection with the murdering of the 18-year-old girl along the Gardnersville Belt, around the industrial park. So as we stand, he's still in police custody as further investigation goes on. And again, Mr. Jensen, the issue of this entire Afro donors issue, the magistrate who got missing in Grand Judea County, election magistrate who got missing in Grand Judea County,
Yeah.
brought serious fight with the last interview that was to be hosted by journalist Edison D. Babin of Smart FM in Grand Judea County.
Mm,
Ansu Salif, who is the Bonnie Salif, who is the Internal Affairs Minister, and
mm,
the superintendent of that county, Kaiji Fali, and the district number one representative. on our hero Madison Guyon, ended into a serious noise where Superintendent Kai Fale said Representative Madison Guyon was not to sit on that platform with his boss because he's the cause of all that is happening. He's the one that is masterminding the entire thing of bringing fire on the entire stuff. So at the end of this, he Madison Guyon should not be within the studio alone with his boss. And you saw the video. In the video, there was a serious fight where the superintendent came and forcefully started to bring noise and sort the representative. And then on yesterday, peacefully, the interview was being conducted by another journalist within the same studio where the Internal Affairs Minister, the county senator, Marshall Dennis, along with Ero Marisu Guyo as well, informing the people about this entire African donor issue, how far it's going, and how they are intending to quiet down the entire thing. What are the mechanisms they are putting in place to fund the missing election magistrate so that the country can go, can continue enjoying the kind of peace they are enjoying or they have been enjoying for the past. According to some of the question or some history, they say it's not Grand Jide County one. So, it took part in Sano County as well, where the magistrate, another election magistrate got missing. So it's like it's happening within the southeastern region, and according to the songs of leaders of Grand Jide County who are within the capital, who are working within the legislature, who was also within the government, holding key posts like a ministerial position as well. According to them, they are going to work around things so that after donors living body can be formed. And with that again, too many things taking place.
Okay. Okay, Abraham, we want to say thank you so much for that update, and we have an important topic this morning to discuss. But we will look at those issues. There are a lot of death in Liberia, people dying on circumstances that cannot be explained. The obligation is on the government. The government has a primary duty to provide security for its people, to protect its citizens. So whether it's in Grand Jide, it's in Lofa County, it's in Morovia, wherever it is, Liberia has a territorial boundary. And those
Yeah,
who are leaders must do everything possible to protect citizens. You know,
okay.
the Liberian National Police press release that is being issued about the 18-year-old girl that died in Ghana's. We believe, Abraham,
Yeah.
there's some noise in the background. Hello. Okay, so
Said there is rain. Rain.
you have, no, not rain. It's like you have all of your phone on.
Mm,
Okay, so the issue is Liberia, the government of Liberia, George Weah, his cabinet, they should be able to explain any circumstances that surrounds death of a citizen. The press release that came from the Liberian National Police, I think my friend and brother Moses Carter at the Liberian National Police should not be very hasty in issuing press statements when it comes to death. There must be an investigation. We can issue a press statement to talk about how someone was arrested, whatever. But to start to give detail, to say someone is involved, I think he should limit himself on those way of giving out information. Because when someone died, not in a home, but under mysterious circumstances, there's a need for a coroner to be on the scene. The coroner should speak. They should be the first group of people to talk something about it. In the absence of that, there must be the Liberian National Police that will come and give after their own fundings to give preliminary investigation reports in their form, whatever. So, in short, the Liberian government should always be able to provide circumstances. And at that point, the information ministry, I don't know whether the information minister is coordinating all media activities within the agencies of government, but we think when there is death, the government should be unified to give proper information as to what has happened to a citizen of that country. That's what we have to talk about. And we have with our listener this morning. Let's hear from you, listener, quickly. We have a topic to discuss, but let's listen. Listen, what's happening in Maryland County or the southeastern side of Liberia?
Well, Maryland is quiet. Since I'm not in the other counties of the southeastern part of the country, but where I am currently is quiet. Maryland
Okay.
is quiet.
Okay, but what's happening? What's happening from your end? Is there any update of any happenings?
Well, I think you've seen a recent video on 2A Radio TV. Yep.
Okay.
I
So
think
can
you
you
have
give
seen a recent video.
yeah. For the purposes of our
Yeah,
audience, can you give us a summary of that? What the video is all about?
yeah, yeah. There is a 4-year-old girl identified as Glorina Griffiths in the Zone 4 community. That's the Zone 2 community in Plebo. Um, it was almost a month ago, according to her mother, Victoria Griffiths. That's Victoria too, rather. That there was a time when she was about to go out because she lives in Plebo and she's from somewhere different. She had a funeral to go on. So in the yard, they had an orderly whose house next to their house. And the little girl made friend with the old lady. And so each time the little girl has to go and visit the old lady. So in the time where they were about to go out that afternoon, the little girl went to tell the old lady that they were going out. So she needed to bid the old lady farewell for the time they were going to be out for. So when the little girl went, what she could hear from the little girl, what coming out of the old lady's house was to hear the yelling sound of the little girl. And when she ran there, it was hot water that wasted on the little girl's shoulder, her right shoulder, by her friend, who is believed to be in the same yard, but in the next house, next to the old lady's house. So when she went, the hot water was in the little girl's hand, and the little girl who did that, according to her, her grandmother was standing right behind her, and she didn't utter a word. So they were able to rush the girl to the health center, and they spent 1 week, 3 days. But in the period of time where they were at the health center, the alleged perpetrator's mother was unable to go there, who was on the scene, according to her, when the hot water was being wasted on the little girl. Um, until police were able to trace them, that they got information from headquarters that there was an incident of such in Plebo. So they were able to go at the hospital to trace the victim family. So when police got involved to say they were going to go, that is the time the grandmother, who stood directly behind the little girl who allegedly wasted the hot water on the girl, went to the hospital and wanted to show concern. So they've left the place, and the husband was able to go to the police station and register the case. And in fact, the mother was detained for 3 days, and later she was released. So the police said since they were on ongoing treatment at the health center, that is the local health center, Plebo Health Center, they were waiting for the girl to recover a bit before they send her to court. But her worry was she got hinted by a source from the court that even though those people were result of the major protest that took place in the county last year, when a 25-year-old
Yeah.
that's a 3-year-old man was murdered. Angry crowd broke into the prison facility, and in fact, last day celebrated the victim's
Oh my God.
family.
Listen, we are
She'll be able to.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, we are having problem with
Hello.
yeah,
Yeah.
we
So
are
her
we are having problem with Linston. As he said, the internet situation in Liberia is not friendly with our reporters or correspondents from Liberia. Howbeit, time is fast spent. Linston, if your internet get better, we might get back to you on that. But today we are discussing time. What is the importance of time in the life of every human being, no matter where you are on the planet Earth? Time, those who are Christians, they are guided by the Bible. The Bible set time for everything. There's time to be born, there's time to die, there's time to do anything under the sun. And for human beings, there is time to be born, there's time to grow, there's time to live, and the time set. The Bible says three scores 10. And we look at that in context of every human being. Some may go beyond three score 10, but in the Liberian context, in fact, the life expectancy of Liberia, we are told is about 65 years. All right, meaning there are a lot of factors that will make Liberia not to live long. But so, looking at time, what is the importance of time, and how should each one, look at time? Time can help us to improve our performances. When we learn from the management of our time, we can improve our performances. We can accurately achieve a lot. We can produce, we can work on our own behavior to know what we can achieve while we are living. In the same vein, we can manage our stress. We can take care of our own health. We can target our educational, activities. We can get a lot to be done if we manage time. But there's an important aspect that the government of Liberia is supposed to manage when it comes to time. The government of Liberia, looking at education specifically, the Liberian government should be able to set time. At what time should every Liberian be able to graduate from a high school? Like in America, it is set at age 18. So from age 1 to age 18, everyone should graduate from high school. Those who have gone to school. Linston, I will come right back to you. Okay. Everyone should be able to be out of high school at age 18. And therefrom, before age 25, at least, someone should be able to have a bachelor degree and be able to, get into the greater world and know how to, maneuver and get into the working class. So if the government is not managing time sufficiently or according to plans, there will always be problems with the citizenry. In Liberia right now, I'm not sure whether Liberia, the government of Liberia, is managing the time of Liberians. At what age is Liberia considering its citizens to be out of high school and to join into the workforce? I think many of our citizens or our friends, our sisters, our children are far beyond 18 years and are still struggling with high schools or secondary schools. Can we think that the government is responsible or the citizens themselves are responsible? Well, these are situations. But important to this discussion today, I want us to look at to manage your time, you need to first and foremost every day, the seconds, the minutes, and the hours that you have, each one, whether government is doing what she needs to do, but it is a challenge to each of us. How do we manage our time? And a simple way I can put it is that everyone should be able to wake up by 4 a.m. in the morning hour, whether in Liberia or wherever you find yourself. Waking up by 4 a.m., you have important hours for the 24 hours. By the way, let me say this. Whether you rich or poor, we all have 24 hours within a day. The rich man does not sleep more than the poor man. The poor man sleeps more than the rich man. But the rich man wants to know his bank accounts. He wakes up very early in the morning. He wants to know his appointments. He wants to know what he needs to do every day. The rich man is conscious of time. The poor man is not conscious of time. And this is a serious factor that affects life in general. And even I who's speaking to you, I'm victim of that. My time management is not accurate. Because if I wake up by 4 a.m. in the morning, I'm able to do my own routine. Get up, get in the bathroom, do what I need to do. Maybe if I want to look at my phones, look at those important messages. Do I want to know the news? Do I want to follow up with some important thing before the day starts? So we want to urge each and every one to manage time is when do you start your day? To be productive, to perform, if you can start your day so early, you will not be able to achieve a lot before the close of day. If you want to wake up by 10 a.m., that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it means you have wasted 7 hours already instead of waking up at 4 o'clock. If you waste 7 hours every day of your life, is a significant hurt on your daily performance, your yearly performance, and your performance in life. So how you manage your time begins with the early morning hour, or what time do you wake up from bed. Forget the bigger picture. Ecclesiastes says that it's time to be born. Yeah, you are already born. You are already in the word. So time is the responsibility of everyone, whether you are educated or not. If you had to go on a farm and you wake up by 10 o'clock in the morning, trust me, you're not going to make a lot of mark. If you were supposed to go and clean a spot, you're not going to perform well. If you're supposed to write a piece of paper and you woke up by 10 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to do a lot. So in short, time is important for you and myself to perform well while we are alive. So there's no big conversation this morning. What time do you wake up? And I urge you, if you can't wake up by 4 a.m., try as much as possible before 6 a.m. you are out of your bed. This is a challenge to each and every one of you, including myself who's speaking. Let all of us try to wake up before 6 a.m. Try as much as possible to make that a practice. Wake up before 6 a.m. and you will be able before 4 p.m. You might have achieved a lot. And before you go to bed, you should know when to go to bed. Every adult should have to sleep about 5 hours. You can't be willing to sleep for 10 hours. 10 hours is a waste of your precious time on the face of this earth. Make it your business to wake up by 4 a.m. and at least go to bed by 10 p.m. Meaning, everything that you do, you set time on that. And by that, before the rest of your time on this earth, you might have achieved something. So, time is fast spent. Let's hear from you, Abraham. What do you think of time?
Well, I would like to say thank you so much, Mr. Jensen. You have said it all, but just to add up, time is is so precious in a way that if you mismanage it, or if you mismanage your time or time given you, just know that you won't go further. You always decline. So, like what you said, we need to manage taking into consideration the issue of time, the importance of time. Time is important in our life, in our daily activities. So, as such, human being as whole, not only restricting to Liberians or people around the world. Once you are human and you know the importance of time, know that by so and so time, for example, you're supposed to do this, and when that time elapses, and you haven't met up with your expectation that day, you haven't done anything or you haven't succeeded. So the fact is that uh, we need to take into consideration the issue of time, working with time, knowing fully well what time is, and so forth. So it's good that this kind of topic, come out sometimes so that we can give our input on it. So I'd like to say thank you very much. At least I've learned about
Okay.
time this morning
All
because
right. And
I will learn not to sleep enough.
right, right. And I think is somebody just posted that Liberians do not like to start on time. They don't
But rather
respect
when I
time.
set my time, yes.
All right. So
So
this is just to admonish everyone this morning, including my very self. Sometimes, I mean, there will be time you might have some real time to relax yourself. You can set the time. Like when I was growing up, we had Saturday and Sundays. Most often Saturday, where time we do all our little funny stuff, listen to a lot of music and what have you. So in short, manage your time if you want to succeed. It doesn't matter what you are doing. Life, whether you are rich, you are poor, you have a job, you don't have a job, you have 24 hours each day. It is the responsibility of each one to manage that 24 hours. If you waste 8 hours of your 24 hours, just get to realize that you are affecting your life. So, again, try as much as possible every day between 4 to 6 that you're out of bed. That will help you. Also, for the government has a responsibility to look at time holistically. All of our programs, our activities within ministries and agencies must be tailored towards time and how to meet deadlines. That is why in major institutions, strategic planning, it is told that there must be a plan, there must be a work plan, and the work plan must be distributed according to time. So if government institutions are not respecting time, their performance will be poor. If each citizen is not respecting time, they will not achieve the thing they're supposed to achieve. That's why universities, bigger institutions of learning, people emphasize time. Teachers don't wait for students. A teacher has a lesson plan, they deliver the lesson plan as per time, and there are people who are monitoring them. And because they want to get a performance counter at the end of certain period of time, everybody must respect the time allotted to them. So once again, this is not a long conversation. I think everybody knows the topic. It's all about the 24 hours that is allotted to the rich, to the poor, to the working class, to those who are not working, and everybody should know how to manage their time. That's the focus point about this morning discussion, and is to urge each and every one of us. If we have not started to manage our time, let's start now. Let me say this: managing time is to look at your age. How old are you right now? If I was to ask you, let me start my discussion at age 40. If you are at age 40 and you don't have important achievement, look at time with the purpose of looking at the rest of your life. If the life expectancy is at 65 as counted by experts, at age 40, you should know you have less time on the face of this earth. Counter holding everything constant. So at age 40, you are 65, so you have about 25 more years to live. Meaning there's no sickness, there's nothing else except maybe because of poverty or no job and all of those stuff. So How can you manage the 25 years you have left? It's important for you to look at this morning. Patient, welcome. I mean, I don't know, you took up by surprise this morning.
I
How
know,
are you?
right?
Yeah.
Let's
I
hear from you.
know.
What drive you? What drive you? Is it a topic?
Yes, you know, you are talking about time, and we are Liberians, and this is one thing that is hindering us in our nation.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to adjust myself. So uh, I'm glad you brought about time because we have this saying as Liberians that this is Liberian time.
Right.
This is Liberian time, and that saying it has hindered us in a lot of ways. We have we have we have failed to do the things we're supposed to do on time because of the mentality that we have that this is Liberian time.
Okay.
So based on the mentality that is already like engraved in the hearts of the people, you find out that it is affecting every sector of that nation. My case study is Liberia because we see it even in the execution um, of the Constitution.
Okay.
Things that the provisions that are made, time provisions that are made in the Constitution,
Right.
we are
Right.
adhered to
And I agree with.
because of
Thank you
the
for saying that.
mentality.
Right.
Yes,
Right. Right.
things that the government do programs, they don't start on time, they don't finish on time.
They don't even plan according to
Schools,
time.
yes, schools, the same thing. And you even see the daily lives of people in the street. You want to leave from one point to another point, you are affected by time.
Right.
I mean, I was in Liberia in November,
Mm-hmm.
and I spent a month in Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 2 hours plus to leave from to a farm
Mm-hmm.
to Sinko. Now that is I don't know how to call it.
That is
That is a
unacceptable.
waste.
Yeah.
It's a
Waste of
waste
time.
of
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
because in the 2 hours I should be doing something productive. I should be doing something else.
That is
But
true.
if we are not paying attention to the time that we're supposed to execute certain projects or we're supposed to do certain things, we will not arrive to the place that we want to arrive.
That
So
is
at the
true.
end of the day, you see, we have done after 10 years, we have done nothing else. And even because of that mentality, that mindset, even Liberians that leave Liberia and they come out, they still want to walk. It's like a curse. They still want to walk in that same pattern that they were walking in Liberia. No
That,
respect for time. I mean, this is
that
it.
is that is that is 100% true.
Yeah,
And I think
this
it
is
was
time. We need to do away with those things. We need to look at time and say, well, every minute counts.
yes.
Every second it counts.
Right.
So that's what we should be doing. So this
Thank you.
topic
Thank
about
you.
time, I think we need to take it.
Yeah, we might introduce it another time
Yeah,
to look at it in detail. But I mean,
exactly.
I like the points that you emphasize. The government policies and programs are not even respecting time. And like you
No,
said, the constitution, for example, election in Liberia, the constitution said in certain time you must have an election. And people maneuver a lot of things just to breach those constitutional provisions. It
of
hurts.
course.
All right, but those are bigger picture of the discussion. Today we just want to say, hey, we want to urge each and every one of you. The first thing my plea to all of us is that let us respect time from the beginning of the day, every day. Let us start our day between 4 to 6 o'clock in the morning. You must be out of your bed. Every Liberian, wherever you find yourself, if you are listening to this discussion, it's difficult, but you can do it. The rich man wake up earlier than that. The rich man does not waste his time. People who are millionaires, they don't have time. Don't think that's the mindset that millionaires will have a lot of time to sleep or to do anything. No. They don't have time. They manage their time.
Hmm.
So much more about you who don't have it, much more about me. So if we begin to manage our time, like Patient said, a judge told me that he lives in Broadville. To wake up from Broadville and go to work, it takes him 5 hours every day just to go and 5 hours to go home. That's 10 hours. That is unimaginable for anybody.
I'm telling you,
That's
it's crazy.
unimaginable. There's no performance. Even that man leaves and go to court, how many cases is he going to handle? Now, people said they think it's fun. Just transportation movement alone, as you talked about patient, it can be in America. If I hear before you go to work, the people say you go to work by 6:30, you must be there by that time. They don't
If
care
for
what
any
the situation
reason,
is.
if for any reason you still in the trap, you stay in the traffic for 2 hours, it means that's a serious emergency.
That's a serious emergency.
And
You're not
you
going to
won't have
go to work
anywhere.
after 2 hours, you say, oh, the traffic or this and that. No, nobody going to. So you must manage your time. And Liberians, we say Saint 1847. Everybody will have that song in their mouth. Saint 1847, the country is still backward. I think this is the crux of one of this. This could be one of the major reasons why things have been backward.
Yeah.
Because honestly, even back for government workers to go to work on time, for ministers to go to work on time, they will be laying in their bedroom until when the traffic is all stuck. Then they want to, take the back sides of the road and then to finish the time.
Yeah. And they expect for everybody else to leave the road because they are going or because they are official. I mean,
so we will discuss this again, but we just want to urge each and every one of you. And I like, God set everything into motion. I was reading a little thing about this issue of time. If we all just begin to follow the principles of what is laid down, we can do a lot of things.
Let me say this before we close. It's also in the church. The pastors and bishops. I don't know where we came from with the culture that people have to be in church from Monday to Sunday.
Okay, I like that.
We're not managing our time properly. And the more the people stay in church, we're all being productive. The more poverty creep upon them.
Right.
In fact, if we are children of God and we are following the example of God, the Bible tells us God worked 6 days.
Right.
That's what He worked. 6 days. And the end of the 6th day, which is the 7th day, He rested. So if we are following God, it means we ought to work, not stay in the church 24 hours. If you got the people in church, Monday they go to power study, Wednesday they go to another thing, Thursday they go to choir practice, Saturday they go to youth meeting, Sunday they got to be in church. What time would they have?
And by that patient, let me just throw this in. I listened to a motivational speaker. He said, the most people who are not productive are the Christians. As hurtful as that would be,
and
yeah, I can't let me learn before you say it's not true. And
it is the truth.
Okay, and the reason is this fellow said Christians don't take a lot of challenges. Like you said, time. Somebody is telling somebody, say you have to be in the church to pray for the longest time. God has already said faith without work is dead. You need every time. You need to encourage your congregation to know how to manage their individual time. Each of them have the same 24 hours. So if you take 5 hours from them, meaning you are affecting their productivity.
Exactly.
So everyone that is a leader must be able to help those who are honoring their management to manage time wisely. Again, we'll come back with this topic. And I like the way maybe the next time we'll bring you in patient. I didn't know you have a lot of rich knowledge when it comes to time management. And we will have to schedule this to be able to come in and discuss this more in detail. So for now, let's take a closing comment from Abraham. We're not going to your politics this morning. We got everything from you, right? So let's hear from your time. What do you think of time? Are you managing your time well? What time do you wake up from bed, Abraham?
I woke up from bed 5 o'clock.
Okay, that's good. So
and the reason why he woke up from bed 5 o'clock is because he have to spend like 2 hours in the traffic time.
Okay.
Oh yes. That of which,
so you see 2 hours wasted in traffic. That's 7 a.m. whatever you have to do. So that is not bad, right? Because I think working hours in Liberia should be from 8 a.m. So if you wake up by 5, and I'm sure between 7 to 8 you'll be to your destination. So your closing comment on time, Abraham. Okay, it's sort of the internet. We're not going to waste our time. We're talking about time this morning. We'll go straight to your patient. What is your closing comment about time?
Well, it is my hope, it is my prayer that we will manage our time wisely. the soonest we start managing our time in Liberia, especially that nation, and even those that are outside Liberia, the soonest we start managing our time, the better our society, our community will be. So we need to take note of that. If you ought to be somewhere 11 o'clock, make it possible. Do everything you can to be there at that time. If a program is set for 2 hours, please maximize the 2 hours so that right after the clock strike that 2 hours, you be out of wherever you are. Let's learn to use our time wisely. So God is an author of time. He's a respecter of time. So we are children of God. Let's be respecter of time as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Patient. And we have said it all. Time is very important in the life of each one. Your time must be managed by you. It's not the responsibility of the government to manage your time. It's not the responsibility of your father or your mother, especially after age 18, to manage your time. They can only advise you how you can manage your time. So each one of you learn this, including mine. It's very soft here. Time management is a difficult thing, but we can do it if we set our mind to it. Let's get away with that Liberian mentality and learn to respect our time. Manage your time. To succeed in this life, you have to take time management very importantly. Your performance will be good if you manage your time. So this morning we will come back again. I like the input of Patient, Abraham, and Langston. And we will set another time for this topic to be well discussed. But because time is fast spent, we have 30 minutes. But we are going beyond the 30 minutes, and because of the input of Patient, which was timely, we want to say, hey, this is 2A Radio. And on the next time, we will be here with a brand new edition. Keep following. We will be here on Monday and give you another issue. Maybe we might discuss the same issue again, but until then, be our follower and we will do our best to give you better information that can keep your day running. Thank you and have a pleasant and wonderful day.